What's up?
Tiki, thanks for joining us. I'm tempted to ask, how did David Tyree hang on to that damn ball?
No idea, because he was not a great receiver. He was a great special teams player, but he was not a great receiver.
Crushed me. But instead, I'd love to hear about the cannabis space and how you get in that.
Yeah, so I met a guy at actually I was doing a thing for Governor Murphy. He actually was before he was Governor Murphy, and it was an event. It was open to the public. It was at a local venue here in New Jersey, and this guy came up to me and is like, "I think you might enjoy hearing about the cannabis space." And at first I was like, "Dude, I don't smoke weed. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, great if you want to open a dispensary, fantastic." But it wasn't really in line with what my business objectives were, or anything that I had an interest in. But then the more we got together about a week later, the more we started to talk, the more I saw the medicinal use of marijuana being beneficial, especially to athletes and really to people who don't realize it, but they're self-medicating. And I think a big part of why so many athletes over the years have used cannabis, marijuana specifically, is because you start to realize how opioids, whether it was Indocin or Naproxen or Toradol, whatever it is, these things that they would give us, it's affecting you. And I remember this came like really forward in my mind when they told me, I think it was like my fifth year, because I had a lot of injuries. I was telling you, my knees were swollen all the time, so I was always taking these anti-inflammatories. They said, we're gonna start blood testing you every week so that we can check your liver function. I'm like, wait, hold on, why are you checking my liver function? And it was because of the amount of opioids that I was using. And so I stopped cold turkey. The hardest thing I ever took from that point on, and I just dealt with the pain, was Tylenol. And so I know from personal experience, and then also from talking to some of my former teammates, that they would smoke weed because they didn't want to take these opioids, and they knew how to control it or control their anxiety, or even like calming down. When you play an NFL game, right, it's like yours is a high, like you can't come off of it. And so what guys end up doing is they go grab a handle of something and they start drinking alcohol, which makes it worse. It actually compounds the like the bruising and the head trauma. It all is compounded by alcohol. CBD has chemicals that mesh differently with our body, and so that's why the NFL has finally gotten rid of it as a punishable crime, so to speak. And you've seen other sports do it as well. And so we moved into the space, one as an educational bend for me, and then we were going to find an economic avenue to attack it with. But the challenge is in New Jersey, it's really, really slow. It's really hard to get dispensaries. In fact, there are a couple that have already been approved but are on hold because there's a court case because they were too close to one another. It had to be equally distributed throughout the state. So it's a tough business, but it's an interesting one because of the long-term benefits that it's going to provide when it's ultimately legal. The challenge, and this is what I'm focused on, is focusing on the medicinal side, not necessarily the recreational side, even though I'm not against it.
Excellent. Thank you.